This is another Nerds Order interview. I'm Metal Mayhem, and today I'm with two members of the band Illusion of Grandeur. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Doing great. Let's get started. So, tell me a little bit about yourselves.
I'm Maggie, I'm the Siren. I've been in music for, my whole life. I'm the lead singer of Illusions of Grandeur, the lyricist and the melody writer, vocal melody writer. I've been working with CM since
CM, the bass player from Illusions of Grandeur. 2012, yeah, about 2012. We started the band in 2015, and we're a theatrical hard rock heavy metal band from just outside Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, actually, it's been a while since I've been there too. Nice area. So, what got you guys started with this idea of making the band?
I met Maggie. I was doing a radio show out of Philadelphia. She came in with another band. She was just an amazing vocalist. And our dog's freaking out. An amazing vocalist. And about 2 years later, we got a chance to start working together in a touring metal band, hard rock band. And we were playing and doing a lot of touring. And it just didn't fit what her voice was and what the songs were about. So we kind of sat down and figured out that we should form our own thing and do our own music and do it more towards, she writes a lot with mythology and, history and things of that nature. So we decided we wanted to do something along that lines. And when you kind of get into that, you get in the theatrics, you can't just write about Vikings and write about Norse mythology and, Greek mythology without kind of getting into something theatrical. So at that point, one of our managers, Garby, came in. And we began putting together Illusions of Grandeur, which is basically a storyline, a concept album, and kind of like what we put together was the Siren Saga.
Yes.
So
I'm just alerting the upstairs to get the dog.
Actually, I'll go handle it. Do you want to tell them?
Sure.
Tell them about the Siren Saga. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Guard dog.
Oh, you're perfectly fine. I have a dog and 2 cats. I totally get it.
Oh yeah, he's a maniac.
One time, I was working with another band. My cat decided to pop in because we were having work done down here, so I do things upstairs. And my cat was like, "Oh, the camera!" I'm like, "Get here." It was cute though.
Oh, he just freaks out at anything. He's slightly bipolar, so it doesn't even have to be a car. The wind can blow the wrong way, and he's freaking out. So
he's a total guard dog.
Oh goodness.
We're just gonna tell them to man the dog.
Now. Anyway, so what did you?
I didn't get any further. Okay. His cat took over a podcast.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, so we wrote the Siren Saga, which is so far it's a 3-part saga. The first album was called The Songs of the Siren, came out on Pavement in 2019, and that kind of introduced you to the Siren and her characters. For most people to relate to it, it's almost like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, it's like a D&D campaign.
Or Fable.
Yeah, great game.
And kind of told with a Greek mythology, and I consider it a saga almost and everyone hates when I do this, they'll make this face, like Star Wars.
Or Shakespeare.
Well, Shakespeare. Star Wars is built from Shakespeare. Very well-known fact in building the 3-part saga.
Yes.
Introduce the characters, put them in the worst situation possible, and then resolve the story, whatever that resolve is, be it good, be it bad. So we decided to do a trio of concept albums. And the first one was called The Songs of the Siren, which introduced the Siren and the storyline of how she met her crew. And now we're about to release the album The Siren, which is the second album, which it takes them on their journey in the Hades to rescue Persephone. I'm getting that right.
You're down into the underworld.
Down into the underworld. The Battle Hades.
Yes.
So we normally were a road band. So in 2018 and 2019, we were in Europe and across America touring, England, Germany, France, the Ukraine. We did a huge tour in the Ukraine on the Songs of the Siren tour. And the plan was to put out the Siren in 2020 and go on tour. Consequently, that didn't happen. Instead, there was a little thing called COVID. So
we all know it. We all hate it.
I think other people have heard of it. I'm not sure. If you haven't, you should get on the internet or something. But so we ended up not being able to tour, so we decided to hold the release of the album and instead release a series of singles and videos. And funny enough, being a theatrical band and being a live band that puts on a huge show, we really don't do a lot of music videos.
Yeah.
So this became our opportunity to kind of to do videos. So we're doing a video for every song on the album. And when you link them together, they become the story of the album.
I'm excited now. I love
Yeah.
that.
Well, we
Boy,
started in
I
October.
love bands who do that. It's amazing.
And it's funny because it would seem like it would follow and make sense for us to do something like that as a theatrical band. But we really, on the first album, it was about playing live and touring. And
yeah, we got overseas. We had a lot of opportunities. We played a lot of festivals that year
a
too.
ton of festivals.
Dewey Beach Music Conference, we played that.
Yeah.
We played Whitney Music Festival. We played Sad Fest.
We were out with Dope. We were out in September morning. We were out with, so we just kind of went out and played live and got ourselves known as we could. But so yeah, we when our tour plans for 2020 got kind of canned, we decided to release a single and a video every other month. So in October of 2020, we put out Crossing Over, which is the first song on the Siren album.
Yeah.
And then we put out the video for that. And then we released Down in December. And we put out the video on Christmas Day, which is like a 9-minute video. If you haven't checked it out, check it out.
You should check it out. It's cool.
She's amazing. We actually had to paint her head to toe black.
That was fun. That took forever to come off.
Her demon side came out.
Yeah.
Still coming out.
That is it.
And then the single that just came out this past Thursday is called The Wolf. And we're actually, this will be our most elaborate video yet.
Yeah, we're excited.
We're in production right now. The costumes are finished and the screen, all the screen, I can't think
the
what it's called.
screenplay. The
The
screenplay
screenplay and all that's finished.
You can check the costumes out on our website too, or not our website, but our Facebook page. So there's
And
sneak peeks.
we're going out on location up into the Pocono, Pennsylvania area.
Yep.
At the end of March for like a 4-day shoot. We have a production team that's meeting. We're doing out there to shoot at a couple of different sets. We just found the last one, a monolith park.
It's awesome.
So yeah, so that's kind of become our years, releasing singles and filming videos.
Yeah, it's fun.
I hope that answered your question.
That's awesome. Honestly, like, I heard the new song, I fell in love with it, and now hearing this, I'm even more excited.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, well,
Excellent.
we're trying to appeal to a wide variety of people.
Yes.
I mean, you can explain how you write songs. It's a kind of double entendre.
Yeah, I rate music in double entendres so that it fits the storyline, but then if you listen to the song outside of the story, or you don't know the story, or even that there is one, you can be like, oh, this is a good song. So he often compares it to Pinball Wizard. The Who?
The Who, yeah.
Yeah, The Who, Pinball Wizard.
If you hear that, you don't know that it's the crux of the story of Tommy. You're just
Right.
like, that's a damn good song. But if you're like into the album Tommy, you realize that's like the crux of the story. So people that maybe will hear Crossing Over will just be like, wow, man, that's a
cool song, yeah.
great song. But then people that are following the story are like, oh, they're crossing over the River Styx. They're heading into the underworld. So
you're literally disassembling, like, because you're not supposed to be able to go over the River Styx if you're alive.
Yeah.
So crossing over,
you're kind of dying.
We're dying in essence. You know, we're literally crossing over
As we begin the record. It's kind
Yes.
of, it's really cool. It's yeah, for us, we find, and that's the other thing.
I'm excited.
We get excited about it, so we hope other people
I hope
get
other
excited.
people are.
I already am. Like, I'm already like, oh, this is gonna be good. I'm super.
Yeah, and the video's out, go check it out. I mean, there's links on YouTube. If you go to www.iogmusic.com. iogmusic.com is like all roads lead to Rome.
It's our hub.
It's our hub. You can get to our Twitter, our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube, to all the links to stream stuff, to buy stuff, get t-shirts, whatever you want. All at iogmusic.com. And it also, I think there is some of the story.
Yes,
on
the
there.
beginning of the story is on there, so you can kind of get an idea of where we're going. And the very beginning of the story, I did use some direct things right from Greek mythology so that people would kind of understand, like anybody that has any, reading or had anything in school, you might be like, oh, I kind of remember this. So I did that on purpose so that it would be a frame of reference. So basically the Sirens' job, there's 7 of them, and their job is to protect Persephone. And when we fail to protect Persephone, we get cast out of Mount Olympus. So Zeus cast me out of Mount Olympus, and I have to get her back from Hades. And everybody knows that Hades took Persephone while she was picking flowers on Earth. And he came up and took her to the underworld to marry her. So that's directly from Greek mythology, but then we kind of go on
Yeah.
a really neat journey.
It's this kind of like frame of reference
Yes.
so that people
Yes.
can identify with it. It's almost
Correct.
like it's got that, not to hit another pop culture kind of like almost like Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans, Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of feel, or like I said, like a D&D campaign. You know, that's what I hope people kind of, the vibe people get, you know, like
You can
all your
pull from
Lair
it.
fans and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pull from it and see yourself in it and pick your favorite character. And you know, there some of the songs are battles.
Yeah, like
some of them are
Vikings.
just
And,
rock songs. Some are love songs. Very few.
well, no, only a
Um,
couple. All right, love songs.
But it's so it's an we tried to give something a little more of an interesting concept.
Yes.
Having, like I said, we were out touring previous to this, and there's nothing wrong with just getting up on stage and, you know, rocking out and being whatnot. But I grew up watching Kiss, watching Alice Cooper, you know,
King Diamond.
and these elaborate shows and the storyline to each album. And I was like, we need to get back to that. And so we designed this show because when we started out, just like every band, we started out in small clubs and venues, and then we've been building up. It wasn't always festivals. So we designed it to be modular. So if we're playing somewhere bigger, we have backdrops and everything. So when people come to see us, they see the show. You know, if you're coming in to check out Illusions of Grandeur, you're going to see a full show. She's acting out all the songs. Lots of lights, lots of flames, lots of smoke. So it's a good time. We can't wait to get back to that too.
Yeah.
That's kind of what, that's our wheelhouse is playing live.
That sounds like a great time. I'd love to go. I'd love to go to one of those.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, we'll be
Come out.
hopefully
We'll be
back across the United States towards the end of
towards the end of 2021 is our projection at this point.
Nothing's planned until about October.
Makes sense.
Just because of COVID, you know, you can't like put anything.
The pandemic's been the pandemic's been a nightmare for so many bands. It's just been nuts, and for other people too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge setback. So
Honestly.
But we're making the best of it.
Okay. What were you saying?
So we're making the best of it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you guys are making music videos now, and I'm honestly can't wait to see them all. I'm super excited for it.
awesome. Yeah, we're excited too.
It's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be.
Hey, it puts the fun in it, right?
Yeah.
It makes it all worth it, because then what's really neat is he'll work on it for hours and hours, and then we'll all watch it, like the whole band will watch it, you know, and we'll go back and forth with notes and stuff, and then he'll do like another final mix and check it and another one. And then when we throw it out there in the world, it's so cool. I'm like excited for him because people are like, oh my God, this video is so cool. Like, wow, you really outdid yourselves. I'm like, yay, because I know what he did for it.
Yeah, we're always trying to level up.
Yeah.
We're out here just outside of Lancaster, in a little town outside of Lancaster. And what we did is we got a farm. When we moved out here about 5 years ago, and we started the band and we started rehearsing here on this farm. So we built the studio here. So we have a recording studio here. So we can self-produce all our records and mix. And we work with other producers and whatnot. But usually everything's done in-house here.
Yeah.
On the farm. And then when it came time to shoot videos, it kind of was like bringing in other production people and whatnot. We really like working. We're really spoiled. We like working on our own timeline. And we also like taking our time to do things. And that costs a lot of money when it comes to both recording and video. So we decided to take one of the outbuildings on the farm and turn it into a green screen studio.
It's awesome.
So it's a full floor to ceiling green screen room that we can shoot 360 in.
Yeah.
And but when you're learning how to do this kind of from scratch, there's some trial and error. But we got some people, we got some experts involved who did help us along the way. But yeah, so everything as you see them, the videos get more elaborate and get better. And actually in the down video, it's pretty interesting because that's like literally a set built out in the farm. With all the flames and all the stuff. So it's kind of crazy. We just went and built the set, like you have to watch it to see it. So this one that we're going to do next, The Wolf, we've had several really bad snowstorms here. So production's been delayed. But that gave us a chance to kind of come up with this plan to go out into the mountains and shoot it. So it's let me tell you, it's going to be worth the wait.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. And then we have a lot more planned for over this summer. And as the album gets closer to being released, I think we're looking at late spring, maybe early summer, we're going to put the entire record out, but there'll still be videos following, and we'll be posting them and doing interviews with people and doing press behind all of them. So it's been an adventure for us.
Wait, I'm super excited. And the Snowstorm thing, I can totally relate. I'm like a few states away from you guys. We got hate just as bad. I hate it. Yeah, we just got hit with another one 2 days ago. It's been like, oh, come on.
I know. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah, we got snowed in yesterday.
Yeah, and it was bad. The whole road was shut down. There was like a tractor trailer truck jackknifed down the road and trucks every direction. Like, just, it was bad.
Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like literally in the middle of nowhere.
If you get stuck here, you're here.
You're
just
here.
hunker down.
Yeah.
Like,
if you get trapped out here, you're out here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, my next question I should have asked this from the beginning. What inspired the band name?
Craigslist. How many times if you're a musician, maybe musicians can relate to this. How many times have you gone onto Craigslist looking for a band? You know, be in the description, they'll be like, this is what we're looking for. And then there's like always this line that says like, no illusions of grandeur here. So, and I'm like I see it all the time. I'm like, why not? Like, I've always wanted to be in a band, and I've always wanted to be successful, and I've always wanted it to be what I do. Why not have Illusions of Grandeur? And I was like, that is an awesome band name, because I see it everywhere. So why not use it? So I took like a negative sort of spin on that awesome phrase and made it this really cool band name, because Illusions of Grandeur, that's like what dreams are made of, is it not?
Yeah. So we decided to kind of turn it on its head.
Yeah.
And make it Illusions of Grandeur. It also kind of opened us up to make it whatever we want. We're not like locked into like a hard rock name or a metal name, or, you know, it can be whatever we want it to be. And it's also cool because it became again another double into IOG. Yeah. So if you see a lot of our winged, the Siren logo with the mermaid tail in it and all on IOG, you know, people know us as IOG, they know us as Illusions of Grandeur. So it was a lot easier for people in the Ukraine and Russia to pronounce.
Yeah.
To chant IOG. So that was that was neat. So yeah, it's an interesting name, and it doesn't really lock us in anything. So it leaves us room to do what we want.
That's awesome. I love that. It's so cool how things like that just sort of pop up and you wouldn't expect it to, especially like on Craigslist. Like I did not expect that, to be honest.
I know. People ask me, I'm like, funny story.
I asked her because
he's like, where did you come up with that?
Because I said, what do you want to call the band? She's like, Illusions of Grandeur. And I was like,
he's like, where'd you get that?
I like it. It's a little grandiose.
And that's what he's like, it's a mouthful. And then I think our personal manager, Garby, he even said, he's like, well, you could say IOG.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but just like think of that. Like, think of how cool that name sounds. And then, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only musician that noticed that. You know, you go on Craigslist and it's like, no Illusions of Grandeur. No, I'm like, why? And I'm like, that's just such a badass phrase, like Illusions of Grandeur.
Why not? Why not go for the British ring?
I've always had them. I'm always like, oh, we're going all the way. I don't, you know, whatever.
Whatever
the journey is, I'm going. Like,
yeah.
So
yeah, that's where the band.
That's where it is. You know, ironically enough, we just keep leveling up. So I'll go with it. I'll take it.
I love that. That is awesome.
And so,
how does the costume making process go for you guys?
That's involved.
Costumes it's been an evolution. It started really basic, like let's go to Goodwill and see what we can put together.
Yeah.
And it's become our manager, our road manager, Garby, he actually kind of studied, you know, like on YouTube and stuff, but he's been like studying on how to like make things. And then we also have, very fortunately, a wonderful, beautiful costume mistress.
If you go on our Facebook or Instagram now, there's actually the last costume fitting for the new Siren.
Yes, you can see the fitting.
And it's Sam's on there, one of our costume designers.
Yes.
They blow my mind.
She made this round of costumes, and so quickly, like, she had things, she's like, oh, I've got this and I've got that, and this is how you do this. And I'm like, and she was just like cranking it out and showing us
It's
stuff.
so cool because years and years ago, I've been touring and playing for years, and I knew Dave from Guar. And I remember the first time that I went down to Virginia and hung out with them, and they had the costumes on. I looked at these things, and close up, it looks horrible. But when you get back and you're on stage, they're Guar. It's scary. But when you get close up to them, it don't look that great. But man, that's not really what it's about. It's about seeing them from afar and they're war, you know. And so I remember the first round of armor and the chest pieces and everything.
So hot.
And, well, yeah, we lost. We lost.
I'm like,
they say a professional goalie in hockey
sweat.
loses 15 pounds per game. Pretty much
same
us.
thing with musicians, at least us.
So
Anybody that wears anything.
We were strapped into these. At first, they had me in a helmet.
You had a mask.
Yeah, I used to wear a helmet. Yeah, helmet live. I was like, we got to get rid of that because I'd lose vision halfway through the show because no matter how securely they put it, it would sink down on my face under all these lights. So it's been an evolution.
Yes.
And what she was saying about Garby is just like amazing personal manager, and we're always learning how to shoot video, learning how to record better records, working with producers and whatnot. So he actually went out and worked with costume designers and learned how to make armor out of foam, out of latex, and so I remember the next round, it's actually in the video, to go back to crossing over, you'll see her in the full set of armor that was built for her
and the gauntlets
by Garby, and it's crazy. So it's a process. And it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun
because you get to be someone else, and you put your war paint on and your armor, and you go out on stage.
Man.
Yeah, you go out on stage and destroy. I remember we were playing Chameleon Club, and it's the fifth member of the band right now, and it's her mic stand, Davy Jones.
Oh, Davy Jones, yes.
That she built. It's a pile of skulls, and he is here. He's over there. So she was playing the show, and as she kept getting your hair and all your, she kept getting tangled up, so she started ripping the bones off of the mic stand and throwing them into the crowd.
I was literally tangled in it. I'm like, I have a couple of choices here, and they're not good. So let's just rip Davey.
Started throwing the bones into the crowd. And that's kind of become a thing.
I'll sign them
where people are freaking out, or we'll be afterwards. We'll be at the merch booth, and people have the bones. Can you sign
this? Yeah.
So it's kind of become fun, and that's Davey's got his own Facebook page, his own Instagram page. He's got more fans than me.
Yeah.
So
he's had so many evolutions himself.
Well, people follow the mic stand and the bass player. That's all.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's not humiliating at all.
You can see people like out there taking pictures of Davey. I'm like, what is all the flashes? And I'm like, oh, they're taking pictures of Davey.
Meet and greets. They'll come up to take pictures of Davey.
Yeah.
So it's another little aspect. Her mic stand is Davy Jones from Mythology, Davy Jones Locker. Which in one of the songs,
I use him as a prop a couple of times.
Yeah, she sings, I have Davy Jones' head.
That's in through awesome. The sticks,
So, but so to get back to your question, which we tend to drift really fast from, the costume process is intense. The fittings are intense. You gotta not be shy. They're putting hands and tape measures in places that you don't want them. And it's
like the painting of the black. That was like that too.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, and you had your fellow Siren or witches. You got to watch the down video. There's two women painted head to toe red, and then her painted head to toe black. Let me tell you,
it's cool.
It's worth just for that. It's worth it. You're definitely gonna be like, get off the band, go back to them.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun with the costumes. We have a lot of fun with the imagery. And that is, it's also like, it's really cool to go out and play somewhere live and be like, how big can we make the flames, and how big can we make the lights, and how many video screens can we fit here? So we just try and blow it up and amp it up as much as possible. And I think, and it's as much fun for us as it is the audience to see. So, and it's a good time. So the costumes and all that, and it's a process, man. Let me tell you, you got to get there a couple hours beforehand to get yourself in the makeup.
Yeah. I have to get there a couple of hours beforehand just to be relaxed about it.
I'm glad.
Because I'm like, I need to get there like 5 hours before so I can just breathe a little bit before I have to start suiting up layer by layer.
And it is suiting up. It's like a sports team.
Yeah. Well, now my costume shifted a little bit again, which I'm really excited for, but I still need help putting that on. So it doesn't matter. I always need help.
But yeah, it's a process. It's a lot of fun.
That's right. I mean, hey, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. You only get to be a kid for like this much time in your life, so why not dress up and go on stage? Yeah, like, you know.
You name me a bass player that doesn't at some point want to be Gene Simmons. I don't care who you are. Even Billy Sheehan at one point was like, I want to be Gene Simmons. Everybody wants to be Gene Simmons at some point, man. You want to put that on and spit the blood and do the whole thing. I don't care who you are.
I can relate to the costume part because I'm actually a cosplayer myself, so that's kind of a norm for me
Oh,
as
nice.
well. So I always love like dressing up as characters and making all my stuff at home. It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like I'm making like scythes one day, helmets the next, just working on that. And with COVID, I've had way more free time to work on that and do this.
Yeah,
You know,
that's-
I love seeing bands who put that together. It's always like such a delight seeing that. It's why when I first heard about you guys, I'm just like, this is amazing.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
she got a really good compliment. We played 2300 Arena here in Philadelphia at the end of 2019 tour cycle. Like,
Yes.
and tell them what the guy said. It was great.
There was a guy in the audience that said, he stopped me backstage and he was like, hey, I've never seen you guys or heard of you before. He's like, but I had to tell you, he's like, you guys are amazing. He's like, and not just like, you're a good band, like you have great music. He's like, but if I didn't like the music, he's like, there's so much to look at. He's like, you got the costumes, and he's like, and your makeup war paint thing. And then he's like, and then you're like down, like pointing at people and putting on this whole show. And I waved like a big, huge flag at one point and stuff.
That goes out over the entire audience. It's pretty cool.
So he said basically, like, even if I could care less what you were singing, like I would want to just watch the show,
Something for
like, because
everyone.
it's something to look at, you know? So he said, there's really something for everyone. And that is kind of like what we're going for in a way. Like, obviously you can't make everybody happy, but even in our next record, you know, it's very heavy, but there are going to be songs that you're like, oh, I didn't know she could sing like that. Like, it's just different. It just sounds different. Am I, you know?
Yeah,
so-
no, we try and like on the first record, we got kind of looped in as hard rock.
Yeah.
There's some metal on there, and there's some, you know, there's a ballad, there's metal, but we kind of got looped in as hard rock. And as we came in at the end of the last record, there's a song called "Through the Sticks" on the Songs of the Sirens, all in A, played on extended
It's
range
heavy.
guitars, and it's really heavy. And when I sat down in July, I think we got back from the Ukraine in July, August of 2019. I sat down to start writing this record. I had a plan to make it absolutely so heavy that
Mhm.
like anyone who was like into Slipknot, Metallica, in Venom, or anything like that could get into it. Like it would be really heavy. And then also that if someone was just like into maybe like a Cedar or into I don't know, like some like bands that are metal-ish, good, still good, but have a harmonic sense, still more melodic sense. And I know that's how
More commercial friendly.
where she
if
comes
you will.
from. So we really blended extremely heavy music on this album with melodic sense and dare to say a little radio sense, I guess you could say,
Yes.
and kind
Yes.
of taking it to the next level. But I dare anyone to list this album to call us hard rock.
Yeah, no, that's actually, that's one of the coolest things I think I've heard. I know for sure I've heard it twice now, but I want to say there were a couple other times. Very cool. I take it as a compliment that we're sort of creating our own genre of metal,
I'll take that.
which I think is amazing because people often they're like, I don't know where to put you guys. And that happens at shows too. You know, we'll go to shows and it'll be like hardcore death metal. And then it's like us. And I'm like, you know, or the same thing where like we played really punk shows. And I'm like, I don't know how well we're going to float here, you know? So
Yeah.
it just, we generally capture the audience in some manner or another, just like I was just saying about that guy that said,
They kind of get something out of it.
right. But
we were out with Motor Grotter.
yep. And that we all wear war paint. So that's,
So they kind of put us with them because we
September
were
morning.
theatrical and they're theatrical.
yeah.
Motor Gratter's heavy as hell.
Yeah.
So and it you know, we're opening up for them. Their audiences were kind of like, the hell is this?
Mhm.
But we won them over. And I won't say it wasn't easy,
No.
but we won them over.
I
And
was
that
worried.
yeah. that took some time because you got guys, you know, Motor Grotter is extremely heavy, dope, real melodic, real heavy, groove kind of metal, and we're opening out with them, and that was a different experience. So we learned a lot from that, learned a lot from our contemporaries and touring and working with people, and that's kind of all got thrown in the pot and blended. But the main thing is we go out and we do what we do, and we're not worrying about what anyone else is doing because we played music festivals in England with dance bands. Republica.
Baby, I'm ready to go. Yeah,
Olivia
like
Granger.
I'm friends with her.
Yeah.
That's
Olivia
awesome.
Granger and Republica on the same bill.
Yeah.
And we won the crowd over. It was kind of
Yeah.
cool. They were a
So-
little scared at first. Someone was
At
yelling Satanists.
I love when people try to pray over me. That cracks me up. I'm like, oh my God, did you
what's
listen to the music? Because it has nothing to do with Satan.
But yeah, so there are several things that will happen. Promoters will see us and go, "Oh, they'll go great with them because of what they look like."
Yep.
You know, because we're painted up and whatnot. You could go, "Hey, they go great with Behemoth."
The worst one is like, "Oh, they're female fronted." I'm sorry. What does
Just
that has
there's another
nothing to do
female
with
singer.
genre at all? Because that happens sometimes too.
Yeah, we
you
get
know?
put with female bands.
And I'm grateful. We played with OTEP and super grateful for the opportunity. Don't get me wrong, but like we have nothing to do with OTEP. They're like rap, rock,
Metal, wow,
rap,
yeah.
and they're amazing.
They're
don't
great
get me
people.
wrong. I just we don't fit with
Yeah,
that,
so
you know?
a promoter in England, a friend of ours, kind of, he loves the pop sensibility we have in some of our music. He thought these guys would be great with Republica, and it was a ska band and something else.
Oh God,
It was
all kinds of dance bands,
we won the audience over.
porn bands. You know, like you're in England, man. You name it, it was up there. And it's an all-day festival, so you got
And there we are.
people in the beginning singing covers, even, you know, and then and then the original bands start coming in, and you've got like big, huge horn section bands, and then you've got like dance party kind of bands, and there's, you know,
That was the most
balloons out in the
interesting
audience and
backstage
stuff.
experience ever, though,
Oh,
because we kind of have like our own little, in our rider, we get like a little wing kind of set up.
Oh,
But if not, we bring our own tent. We set ourselves up because it's a little elaborate
Yeah.
getting dressed. We can't do it in a little teeny room. We did that in Ukraine one night at Volume Club. That was crazy.
yeah.
So
Sweating.
you got people warming up with horns and acoustics and mandolins and accordions and singing folk songs and stuff like that. And there we are, all painted up,
Yeah.
layered up, and you know they're strapping our equipment onto us. They're like, "What the
is-
hell are they doing?" So it was. But again, we all ended the night, you know, raising a pint, being friends.
My favorite,
So-
my favorite impression too, you know, so forgive me because I love you all in England, but it was, you know, I was watching you all up there and I was like, wow, oh my God, my mind is blown, and I'm watching,
I remember.
and I was just I didn't know, oh my goodness, I'm so taken aback. It's amazing. And then what you have to ask yourself is, would you come and see them again? And the answer is yes.
That was
And
great.
I just I'm like, oh my God, I love this woman.
Yeah.
That
it
like
was-
made my day. It was the cutest thing
Yeah, it
ever.
was a middle-aged woman who had to get backstage
England.
in
greatest
England and
people
had
ever.
to talk to her and had to have a conversation with the siren. And
I
that's
love
what
that.
and that's what she said. And I remember standing there going, wow, it was great. So yeah, it's the costuming and all that. It's been
I'm
an
allowed to do
experience.
the British accent, by the way. We joke about that. They said that I do it really well. So they try to get me to do it. So I'm just, you know. I'm not making fun. I love it.
But no, so it's been an experience of being on different bills and female fronted and metal and this and that. And we've kind of, I like to think we make our own genre.
Yeah.
And time will tell.
Yeah, we shall see.
Ocean Sea, yes.
We will, and I cannot wait to see it because I've been enjoying it myself. Like everything I've heard so far, I've loved. The new song,
Awesome.
"The Wolf," is amazing.
Thank you.
That's a super departure actually from what we normally do too. And that's our new drummer, Ted, who
Wow.
comes in from playing like, he's a metal drummer.
He's amazing.
And we were working on this and we layer some synth in and everything that make the songs thicker, and it adds a real cool theatrical element to it. And when we got to the verses, he's like, why not just have it be synth? And we were kind of all
I was
like,
like, what?
wait a minute. And so that song's it's Illusions, but it's really, you know, evolution in Illusions. So we're glad you like it because that was kind of an experiment for us.
I told him last night, I was thinking about that opening line, like, even if I didn't know the band or anything like that, that opening line would have me just like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
I love the opening line of that song.
If you aim to cheat me.
If you aim to cheat me, you'll owe an offering. And it's just that line. I'd be like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
I like lyrics though. So, you know, I can listen to a song purely based on lyrics and, you know, enjoy it musically as well, but just be listening to it for the lyrics, you know.
I'm the same
That's
way.
right. I still don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, sometimes he's like, what are you saying there? Oh my God, that's so cool. I'm like, I've been singing that for like 4 years.
I do all the arranging and recording. I'm the engineer, and it's involved, and I know a lot of it. But there'll be times where she'll sing something. I go, man, that's really cool.
I didn't
I
know
love
that's what
you
you
singing that.
Yeah.
So
Silly.
I'm the same way. Though. I study everything I listen to. Like I look at all the lyrics I can just see the meaning of the songs, and it's always a new
that's
treat to see
awesome.
something like this. Like seeing songs that actually build off each other into a story is like some of my favorite stuff to listen to. So when I first heard, I'm like, okay, these guys are my top list. I love it.
Thank you.
Nice, thank you.
It's tricky to do too, because like we were explaining earlier, we could get really tied into writing a story song, and
Yes.
people would like, some people would really love it. They're like, oh man, they're singing about this and this journey and that, and it's real literal. But to get someone who maybe doesn't know what we're about and they're just like, damn, that's a really good song. That was kind of the goal, to do that double entendre, do both.
And what you're saying, actually, these first few songs, with the
Very
exception of
story.
Down, are very story oriented, and it was really difficult to write them because once I start kind of writing in the story mindset, sometimes I get carried away and I forget that I need to like pull in.
It's got to be a hook.
Pull in the hook and pull in some relativity for people that aren't listening to it from the songs of the Siren into the Siren, and they have no clue what's going on.
My favorite part of it though is there are people, like, you seem like you read in the lyrics and you check things out and you investigate them. There are friends and fans of the band that they know what we're doing. They know what we're singing about. And so maybe their friend is listening across the river, like digging it, but they're not in the know. And the person that knows the story and knows what it's about, they're in the know. So it's almost like a secret club. I like that. I like that because you get that from fans that kind of are like, I love when the Siren battles, in 323, or I can't think of now. See, I'm being stupid. I can't think of Through the Sticks and Silent Suicide. Silent Suicide. Like when they're like, oh, I love when she's, here I come holding Davey's head and following the battle scene and this, that. They have it built in their head and they're in the story and they get it. And then there's someone else that's just, oh, I love that song, Silent Suicide, man. It's so cool. But like I said, it's kind of like a little secret to them, and they know it. And that's who we're writing it for. We're writing it for everybody, but it's really cool when they get that little extra thing and they know it. And that also shows me that they're paying attention. And we want you to like the music for the music. Absolutely. But it's really neat when you get the full meaning of the universe we're in and that we're building, and the characters and the story and all that, because we put a lot of time and energy into it. But some people pick up an album and they're just like, hey, that's a good album. Some people pick it up and they understand the mythology and they understand the songs and they get into the characters, and it's there for both.
Or some people, like my niece says, I'm her weird aunt, so I'm good with that too.
Then
I'll take that as well, whatever.
Then you're at a cocktail party after a concert with Republica and wearing makeup and people are staring at you.
Oh yeah. And the Ukraine, they're going, American, right? American? I'm like, yup, American.
Try shopping at midnight just outside of Russia in full makeup.
Yeah.
In a Russian grocery store.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, good times.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yako you.
Yako you.
Yako you.
Yako you. Thank you.
Speaking of Silent Suicide, I actually just listened to that before we did this.
Excellent. Okay, so
I was like re-listening to it to get the catch of it. That is one of my favorite songs so far. I See a Story. That song just sticks to me more though, because I love the way it just transitions. And
That's awesome. Thank you.
The song's great. But no, I loved everything I heard so far though, and I cannot wait to see it.
Man.
I really do look forward to it. I think my next question would be, who would you guys love to play with live? Like, who would you love to collaborate with the most?
Collaborate or play with live?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Both.
Okay.
Both?
More than one option. You guys got more than one choice. Go for it.
Okay. Well, all-time favorite, Korn. I'd love to tour with Korn. They're, ever since I was a little kid, I just connect with Jonathan Davis so much. And I personally think they're a super group. I know there are people that are going to laugh at that. But they're all amazing musicians. And I know Head says he's not great and stuff like that, but when you put them together, there's something about the magic of Korn that just, and nothing but net. Like maybe they've had a few songs that were like, but most of them, like I know every word to every, like, just let's do this. I love Korn. So Korn. And then
ABBA.
Get out of here. I just want to push him off the stool.
I don't know if we were
collaborate.
Wow, we've done probably 1,000 interviews, and you're the first person to ask that question
specifically.
So
nice.
Good for you. People always ask, who do we want to tour with? And
yes.
I mean, in this moment,
who's
up there, we haven't had a chance to play with them yet.
I would love to play with them.
And we can't wait to do that. We enjoy playing with September Morning and all. But collaborating with Wow, that's it.
I would like
You
to
stumped
collaborate
me.
with Jonathan Davis,
I
but
would
that's
love to
me
collaborate.
personally.
You know, and they
So that's
collaborated with a
not-
lot of people. I tell you, I'd probably love to collaborate with Slipknot, with Corey Taylor, with them in
Corey
that
Taylor's
kind of the emotion. And that's another band, very controversial to some people because people don't see the musicality of it. But the thing is, the way they shape their songs and the intensity and the masks and the whole thing, there's a lot going on there besides for just like The Devil and I and, you know, things like that. It's the music is great, and every album is an evolution in the band. And I'll admit, years ago, I've seen them, and I was actually out on a couple tours of Mayhem Fest that they were on and backstage and hanging out and whatnot. And I wasn't a big fan. I just thought they were a really good band. As of the past few years, I've become a rabid Slipknot fan.
Same.
I've really just begun to enjoy it. And I actually had a chance to talk with Sean on the phone for about 3 hours.
Lucky.
A couple years back, I was working with a band called With Daggers Drawn. And he was kind of managing them, maybe. I'm not sure what the relationship was. I don't want to overspeak it. He was consulting with them. And I ended up having a conversation with him. And it was like crawling inside the mind of a genius. Really intelligent guy, really down to earth, really cool. And he gets what he's doing. So if I was going to collaborate with another band, besides for maybe In This Moment or Korn, I say Slipknot.
Oh, awesome! Like, I love Korn and I love Slipknot. Like whenever I listen to their stuff, I see like what goes into it. Like, while listening to like Dead Memories, I'm like, I feel this song.
The emotion
right?
pours out.
Oh man,
Exactly.
yeah. Even I was like, let's cover Psychosocial. Like, no one will see that coming.
And that's kind of that magical ingredient, is being able to bleed that emotion into a song so that when your listener hears it, they feel it. It's not just, you know, tactile, and not just, you know, it's visceral, and you really get it. And that, to me, that's a lot, because a lot of people that I know that are in the music industry kind of go like, oh, I get it, they put on a show. And I'm like, you obviously have not sat down and listened to this shit, because it's intense. It's like, if you've never seen them live and you just heard them, the intensity pours out of the speakers. And that takes a lot of work. And believe me, we know you spend a lot of hours in the studio to make something come across the way you want it to.
A lot of belief in yourself and the people on stage with you, because if we don't believe in us, nobody out there is going to believe. Yeah. You know, that's something when you go for what we're doing, like, you have to do it.
You almost say, don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing. Journey's going to be pissed.
I love them.
You know, you have to own it, because if you don't, you know, you can't be unsure. You can't be looking around. You gotta own that shit. You know, if you're gonna put on a show, do it.
Genuine is kind of how we do it. Nothing is fake. I mean, we're putting on a story, but we believe in what we're doing, right? Musically and in the show, and we take every time. Like I said, I always call them friends rather than fans. Because they become friends, and we've had
quite a few people, actually.
Thousands of people email us or call us or talk to us, and every one of them, you're taking the time to sit there and tell me either you like my music or you're interested in it or what we do. I'm going to take the time to talk to you about it, because you know what? You didn't have to do that. And we appreciate it.
That's actually something we pride ourselves in. Yeah, we take a lot of time to answer emails and talk to people. And when we're at shows, oh my God, we easily sat for one night after a festival for 3 hours and took pictures until everybody was done. Like, till everybody got to. There was even a few people that were like kind of standing back, like, oh no, I'm like, come on, like, come on, get in here.
My favorite moment, and this is another thing you can find if you go on our Facebook, go on the videos. We finished at a festival and she walked out front, and all these little children came running up, and they're like, "Mommy, she looks like a superhero."
The little boy, she looks like a superhero.
And she was surrounded by a sea of toddlers asking for her autograph.
It was the cutest thing ever, because they look at you like, you know, like if I saw Thor or some shit in front of me, like, you know.
But the same thing.
She looks like a superhero,
so
Mommy.
Yeah, it was adorable.
We all just kind of stood back, and we were chopped liver, obviously. They all just wanted the siren. But that's cool.
It was funny, too, because we only had so much merch, because we went overseas, and I was like, give me what you got. I don't care. I'm signing all. They're getting pictures. I'm not selling it. Just like
we gave out.
Like giving all the merch to the kids. It was
future fans, right?
It was awesome.
So cute.
No, they were awesome.
The Siren Nation, as they become known.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, I love them. I love the kids. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good time. You never know it's a mixed bag. You never know what you're gonna get. You get some rabid fans that are just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? They want to hang out with the Archangel, or they want to, you know, see
Give me their
Aries, the
sweaty
drummer.
shirt.
Yeah, we've had a lot of sweaty shirts thrown at us. And then you get some people that come out and they want to ask you behind the mythology behind what you're doing. And then you just get little kids or, you know, young women that come out because she's their role model.
That's
which
cool
has
too.
been like,
That's awesome.
what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really
But
cool.
it's so cool to see like a, you know, a 17 or 18-year-old girl who wants to get into singing.
In the world of Kardashians, be a superhero.
Yeah. Show up and like watch her and see her integrity and see what she's doing and how do I get into singing and and she sits there for hours talking to them because we're grateful to have that opportunity.
So great. I was like a big reason why I love metal particularly is because it's just mostly raw emotion put into music. That's what got me into it.
Yeah, it lays it out there.
Metal has got me through a lot of deep shit, if you will.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, you want to go to Korn, man.
Oh, that's me.
Korn is some deep shit. All I want in life is to be happy, right? I mean, it's just like it's like a raw nerve, and
that's why I go to Currents and Slipknot, because Currents, they have a lot of heavy hitting songs.
Oh my God.
Absolutely, it's some of the best stuff out there right
All
now.
Out Life is like one of my favorite songs to run to. I'm like,
Mine
bro,
is-
he's like,
the one
"You're
that
right over
actually,
there."
the one that got me through hell and started on this project was Shattered.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that's a great song.
That's the one that got me to start with this, and I was like, it really got me out of a lot of mental shit, and I wanted to give back to the community, so I started up this project.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
My dream
Very
would be to talk to them one day. That'd be like a dream come true for me.
Yeah, and you know what? And when I did a radio show, I was lucky and I got to meet a lot of people. But
Yeah.
when you do a small podcast or something, unless you have a certain circulation, they're like, no.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things you got to just kind of slave away and get there. And you will keep doing it, man.
I did talk to someone who's actually played with them before, so that's a plus. Savage Hands. I got to meet with them. Yeah. Actually, fun fact about Currents, they came from my state.
Nice. That's
They
awesome.
originated
I
from
was
CT.
very, very lucky many years ago.
The cool thing about I love about Currents.
Okay.
Is that they
Oh,
came
that's
from
cool.
my
I didn't
home.
know that.
Yeah. I learned that recently myself. I did some research. I'm like, oh, this is actually really cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the world of music is awesome. And like the underground is so much better because the music actually has meaning, which is why I live for metal. It's like,
Yeah.
there's so much more emotion and meaning into the song. Hence why it is an outlet for a lot of people like me who battle depression and stuff like that.
Well,
Without metal, I would be 6 feet under right now without that music.
I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that feel that way, and that's another kind of reason when we were coming out to do this and put on shows, and you connect with people, and people can tell if you're genuine or not.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're full of it, it's real apparent. We were touring previously in a hard rock band before we formed Illusions, and we were full of it. We didn't believe in what we were doing, and that's why I turned to her one night. We were on the road, and I was like, we got to get the hell out of here. We got to get out of this contract. We got to go do something real. And this is as real as you get. This is real. We put it together, and we've been 5 years into it now, and we're coming into our second album, and it's the biggest thing we've ever done. And at the end of 2021, knock on wood, we'll be back on the road for like our first extensive United States tour, and then back to Europe. So we're going to overcome this COVID stuff, but definitely check out the videos, check out the singles. The Wolf is out now. The video will be out probably in April.
Yeah.
And go to iogmusic.com and connect with us. If you send us a message on Facebook, you'll get one of us.
Yeah.
You won't get a press agent responding, or if you do, she'll put you to us. So it's we try and talk to every single person and communicate with our fans directly.
I do the best I can. It's a lot sometimes. So sometimes I get on and I'll just do like a quick group message, and I don't want that to be taken the wrong way. I appreciate everybody. My birthday was like that. I was overwhelmed, and I tried. Like I did start individually answering them, and I believe in doing that. But
there's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I have a really rigorous workout routine, which might sound ridiculous, but really for singing, it's super important. So I'm sitting for like 2 hours in the morning I'm like, I can't sit anymore and do this. Like I absolutely have to get up. So I really do truly appreciate everyone reaching out, and I will get to you. I will. Yes. So it will be one of us.
And this is what we do 7 days a week.
Yes.
So
yeah.
we're in the studio, we're doing production, we're working, we're constantly, it's a grind. You know, this is what we do, this is our lives. So it's intense. But that's the whole thing. It's fans and people out there that feel that way about us or other bands. It's like we make sure to show them the respect that they deserve.
Yes.
You know,
it's so important
because you don't know what someone's communicating with you, that there might be in a desperate moment in their life and they're reaching out. And you know what? We want to reach back and, you know, and be like, hey, thank you. We appreciate you. And, you know,
it's a reciprocation.
Keep doing what you need to do.
Absolutely. There's a few people I'm friends with on Facebook that it's like that. You know, they're like, oh, I found your band and I'm really struggling right now. And, you know, and I'll like try to message them on their birthday and stuff like that. I try to remember people, you know, it's really important. I always say, like, without all of the fans and our families and the people that have supported us, we really wouldn't be here.
It'd be a really empty hall.
It would be a really boring show. So, you know, all those people that continue to support us and keep coming out and, you know, years later are still messaging me from the Ukraine and things like that. We really do appreciate all of you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah, sorry, you gave me the opportunity to thank people. So I did.
I'm going to sing you off. We're going to commercial.
We're good.
I love bands who do that. Like, they take the time to talk to their fans. I love that. You don't see that much with like mainstream groups, and it's a real shame. That's why I love groups like this. Like, they always try to reach out to their fans and show the appreciation. It warms my heart a lot seeing that. It's beautiful.
And I can't speak for them because I really don't know. But I will say that me personally, you know, we're not a ginormous band. We're pretty decently big, and I get overwhelmed sometimes. So I can't speak for them because I know I've messaged people as well. Like I've tried to reach out to Tati from Ginger a couple of times and I haven't heard anything back. And I just try to think, like, I can only imagine how many messages are in her inbox from people. I can only imagine.
If yours is full,
you know,
I'm sure
that's what I'm saying. Like, if mine is full, like Maria Brink and Tati from Ginger and Lena Scissorhands, like, I can only imagine what their inboxes look like. So just to maybe say something to the fans, like, maybe, like, hopefully they're trying to respond to as many people as they can, because that's what I do. Like, I'll try to respond to as many of you as I can, or I'll do a group. I'll be like, hey, let's go live so I can thank everybody for this thing.
Yeah.
You know,
but for your birthday thing, it was
that was just
overwhelming.
intense.
So we had to do that.
You know, so I'm not trying to speak for them, and I really don't know, but my inbox is crazy, so I can only imagine.
And that will always be our intention, is to speak directly to our fans.
Absolutely, and respond to comments and stuff, because, you know, you want to see that. You're giving them your energy. You want to feel it back, and I know for me, like, it's just like, oh my God, they said my name. Like, it's exciting.
I think my favorite thing is when we show up, especially we're from Lancaster, PA, and we'll play in Jersey, New York, Delaware, like all, you know, just around our area, maybe 5 states out, and you see the same faces.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
And that's when we start having a moment like, did that person really drive all the way? Holy shit.
3 hours,
4 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours was a Reading Reverb. In Reading, someone drove 9 hours.
And we weren't even
concert.
That was like 2018.
Yeah,
2017.
we were still on our
we were still really.
It was really cool because they were like, I came 9 hours to see you because the last time I saw you was here, and you're not playing there again. I won't see you. Mm-hmm. So it was crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then there's other moments like looking in the face of someone who doesn't have that long to live.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Like someone at a concert. This was literally one of their last concerts because they were dying.
Yeah, that's.
And it was crazy, but that's how much they love music. That's what they want their last thing to be.
Yeah.
And let that sink in. You know, your last meal or your last whatever it is in life, and you decide I'm going to go to a concert, and I like this band so much. I want to meet you and tell you that you're one of my last experiences on this planet, and I loved you. Like, you looking in the eye of somebody like that, knowing that their time is winding down. That's crazy. But it adds such weight to the love of music and metal and that message.
It's the why, man.
Yeah.
It's
so I mean,
why you do it.
That really, wherever especially when we're out for long stints on the road, you know, I try and think of those things rather than think of this sucks and this food sucks and I'm really tired.
Just want some chicken.
And I just, you know, yeah. And so you kind of think about what if, you know, someone in that audience, this is their last night.
We've actually experienced that too.
Yeah.
We played shows. We actually played a show where it was the weirdest thing ever. They stopped the entire show.
Oh, yeah.
A gentleman had a heart attack in the middle of the festival
and died.
And
right there.
He died there. It was.
I don't want to name the festival because I don't want to be crazy about it.
No, it was intense. It was a somber moment. But yeah, we've, you know.
Yeah, so I mean,
to go on what you're saying.
Yeah. So just that to talk about that intensity and the connection, when someone chooses that, rather than, you know, whatever other things in their life, that this is how much it means to them, and they're sitting there talking to you, and you're like, oh, you know, and tomorrow you're going to get up and get on the bus and go to the next gig, and you don't know what they're like. It adds a lot of weight. So for me, when I get in the moments where we're on the road and I'm tired or whatnot, I try and think of that. I try and think of, you know what, every night you got to go out there and you got to give 110.
Yeah.
Because it means you can't have a bad night. I mean, you might have a bad night, but you can't show it. You got to do it because someone put their hard money down. Someone works a shitty job that they hate.
Especially if you're overseas, guys.
Yeah. So, well, even here, you know, anywhere they have worked a shitty job that they hate, and they're taking harder money and they're coming to see your band, and you got to give it to them. So that's why I said I call them friends, fans, whatnot. But that communication for them, for you to take the time to make it real for them, because you know it's real for us. So that's, let me tell you, it gets heavy, but it's like real life blown up. You know, it's crazy.
I'm the same way when it comes to, like, if I was like dying, the last thing I would want to do is go to a concert, go to a music festival. That would be like my last wish as well. Because like my life is all about music. Music has gotten me out of my personal nightmares, and it's just gotten me to live a better life. And if I was to die, say a week from now, I would like it to be at a concert.
Yeah,
there it is.
Right.
And that, you know what? That's a lot of people. That's a thing where people feel isolated, you know, and they feel maybe depressed or isolated, but you can communicate with somebody at a concert because you guys are having that mutual feeling. You're having that experience alone, but together. And it's kind of funny. A lot of people might laugh at it, but it's a thing that goes back to I guess Band of Brothers, Karahay. And I bring this up a lot to, especially we're on stage. We're in ears and we're lights, but I tell them it's Karahay. We stand alone together. We're there doing our thing, but we're isolated because we're out there on stage, you know, doing our thing. And that's the same thing with the audience. You're there for your experience, maybe with your friends, but it's your experience. So you're alone, but together. And that's how it's called Karahay. It's an Indian word for that. It brings people together. It's, you know, and I always feel like that people come together for this experience, but it's their experience, and nobody can have that experience with you.
That's how I was at Warped Tour. Like I was always isolated. Then when I got introduced to Warped Tour, I'm like, holy shit! And I walked out with like 5 new friends in one day. Like those festivals were like a way for me to open up to music and people. And I see that energy now with so much like different types of metal. It's just like I'm home. So I definitely do get that feeling a lot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put things up here because.
Yeah, let's say we gotta wrap up. We actually have a production meeting.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing what comes of it. All right, this has been another Nerds Order interview. Today I was with 2 members from Illusions of Grandeur. Thank you guys so much for your time. This was amazing.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much.
Thank
and again,
you.
go to www.iogmusic.com. Please watch the videos, stream the music, reach out to us. We really appreciate all your time. And thank you so much for having us, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Can't freeze his face.